Good evening, good evening. We are live. I'm adjusting the audio so you can hear me properly. We will wait for everyone to join the live. It always takes a few minutes. And there's a 5-second delay we realized last week, so it takes a bit for folks to get in. Once you get into the live, please say hello in the chat. Where are you watching from? I don't see anyone joining yet. Hello, is anyone with us? We just had a slight disaster with forgetting the microphone. Then I had to run halfway across the site to get the microphone, and then I thought I was locked out and running around like a crazy woman. But it's all good now. Okay, people are joining. Where are you watching from? Say hello in the chat. Janelle Lynn Paul, hello. Thank you for joining us. Tell us where you're watching from. I see a Janice Johnson. Hello, Janice. I know where you are watching from. Let us know where you are. How is the weather? It was lovely up here up until a few minutes ago, and it started getting really windy again and cloudy and probably rainy. So that's Calgary, right? Hi, Janelle. Thanks for saying hi. Thanks for joining us. Michelle is watching from South Calgary. Hey, Michelle. Thanks. Stephanie Patuan is watching. Red Deer. Haley, thanks for joining. Wow, someone outside of Calgary. Who can beat Red Deer? Airdrie? Anyone out of the province or Edmonton or out of the country? Ontario! Jody Cross, you were here last year. Hey, I think you're Sydney's mom. Hi, Sydney's mom. Robin Keenan is watching. Wow, so many people. Awesome. Okay, as we're letting people trickle in, I have a couple questions for you. So you've told me where you're watching from. Jody's telling us it's 40 degrees in Ontario. Damn, lucky you. It's quite cold here. It's like 13 degrees here. Okay, let me know. Question, really important, super important question. It is, are you team baby skunk, team baby bird, or team baby hare? Pop it in the chat. Hare, skunk, or bird as a baby? Which do you prefer? Let us know. I would say that I am team baby skunk. What about you, Kyla? Skunk. They're so cute. We have so many on site right now. They're adorable. What team are you? Let us know in the chat. As we are letting people slowly trickle in, a few reminders. Hey, why are we here? We're here for our baby shower. We do it every year. Today is the second baby shower of 2026. Haley says baby skunk. Thank you. Jody says skunks. I think we're going to have a lot of skunk winners. They're so cute when they're babies. Why do we do the baby showers? Of course, it's a way to show our supporters and wildlife lovers baby animals up close. Ooh, we have one baby hair from Michelle LeBlanc. Robin Keenan also says skunk. I love it. We also do it for a fundraiser. So we're trying to raise funds for our babies. We've taken 800% more patients at this time of year, so it's super crazy busy, but that of course costs a lot more money. So we're trying to raise $45,000 this year. That covers roughly 4 months of food and meds and supplies that we need for wildlife rehabilitation. Last I checked, we're at about 26% of our goal. So we still have a ways to go. Hey, Carla Pollock, thanks for joining again. One of our top fans always comes to the lives. Thank you so much. So we have lots of ways for you to support our wild animals if you want to make a donation. The first way is via our 50/50. Last I checked, it was around just over 11K. That will get up to 20K, so that's 10 for you and 10 for the babies. We can get our team member, Bella, to pop that into the chat for you right now, that link. Also, we have the top 3 donors of the whole month. We'll get a special thank you for donating gift in the post. So we can get Bella also to pop that dedicated donation link into the chat. And finally, the first 5 donors starting right now until the end of this evening of $25 or more will also get a special thank you for donating gift in the mail. It's not our merch special, just for baby shower time. So those 2 links will get popped into the chat. One is the 50/50 and one is the dedicated donation link. Hey, I forgot to tell you who I am and who is with us tonight. So I'm Becky. If you joined us in previous showers or years, you might remember me. Joining me tonight for our feedings, we have 2 of our team members in clinic, Kyla, who you might have seen last week, and Sierra. And also we have Bella on the chat. She's doing this from her house because she's a little bit sick, so I hope she feels better soon, Bella. Hey, great question. Someone just asked about my hat. Beat me to it, Kim. I was gonna really try to vlog this tonight. Yeah, you can get it on the website. Just head over to the website, shop on the top right corner, and you can get the hat and t-shirts and mugs and all the things. Okay, so why are we here? We're here to help babies. I think I've told you everything I need to tell you, the 50/50, the donors. Yeah, keep popping your questions in the chat. We will be answering your questions in real time after the feeding tonight. So I'll try to get back to all of them, but pop them into the chat as we go. And yeah, just let's see who's watching. We have Michelle LeBlanc, we have Jules Pigot. Is that you, Julia? I think it is. Who else? Lots of new names that I've never seen before. That's great. Thanks everyone so much for joining. Michelle LeBlanc says 26% is a huge accomplishment so far. Hey, thanks Michelle. We still have 3 weeks to go to get to that 45K. So please share for us. Okay, I'm going to stop chatting. I'm going to flip you around to Kyla, who you would have seen last week. I didn't even tell you who we were. Actually, I'm going to let Kyla tell you who we are seeing tonight. So I'm going to flip you around. Give me 1 second. Flipping around, if I can find it. There we go. Hey, Kyla.
Hello.
Can everyone hear Kyla? I think that's a big yes. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear Kyla. We have a new microphone this year that is fabulous. Kyla, I haven't told them who we will be seeing tonight. Do you want to start off with that?
Sure. Tonight we're going to be tweezer feeding baby Great Horned Owlet.
Just like that. Just like that. Okay, so yes, it's a Great Horned Owl baby, which is also called an owlet. Tell us a bit, Kyla, about do we know if it's a boy or a girl? Can we tell?
No.
Okay.
Unfortunately, they're not sexually dimorphic, but even when they're this small, they take a blood test to determine sex.
Okay, so I'm just going to call it a he, but it could be a she. So when did he come into care and why did he come into care?
Came into care on May 29th. He was found caught in some barbed wire.
Ooh. Okay, so, and how old do we think he is around?
Right now, he's probably about 6 to 8 weeks.
Okay, so still quite little.
Mm-hmm.
So if he's that young, I'm assuming that he's not flying at that age. So why was he on the ground and we don't know exactly, but how do we think he ended up in the barbed wire?
So he was found on the ground. We think what happens sometimes if there's 2 owlets in a nest, as they start to grow, they outgrow the nest and they kind of get pushed to the edges, and he most likely fell from the nest, which is common. It's something they do when they're fledging, when they're learning how to fly. He's not quite at that stage, so we think he probably had a bunkmate, and they ran out of room. So he was down on the ground, and when they're down on the ground, they don't just sit there, they move around. So my theory is that he was out exploring, just moving around near the base of the tree, and there was probably a fence nearby. And it maybe had some long grass or something, so he couldn't quite see it, and he got caught up in the barbed wire.
I just have an image of him like waddling, jumping on the ground like a Muppet. That's so cute. Were the injuries really quite bad or not super bad when he came in?
They were pretty significant for an animal his size. He had some wounds on his wing, which he's still tonight. You'll see he's got a purple bandage on, and that's just holding his wing in place. He's having a little trouble holding it up. We think probably from pain. So he's on medication for that. and the wing wrap just helps hold the wing in place. And then we check every 3 days. We do physio and check how he's holding that wing when we can eventually take the wing wrap off.
Poor little dude. Poor little dude. Okay. So what's my next question? My next question is, hey, what do we feed him at this point, and how much are we feeding him in, let's say, a day?
Right now we're feeding him mostly mice and the odd chick. Tonight he's getting a little bit of chicken and a little bit of mice. Typically through the day he gets 5 mice a day and 5 mice per feed and 4 feeds per day. So we're looking at about 20 mice.
Hold on. I have to flip around to me for a second, if I can. Did you hear that? 20 mice. And that costs us roughly $180 a week just in mouse food that is mice for the owl, for one patient. So you get the point. It's very expensive, so this is why we're doing a fundraiser. Okay, thanks. Back to you, Kyla. So $180 a week roughly for his food, and this is just one little dude. We want to talk a little bit about this guy, kind of the difference before we go into to feed him. Everyone don't bounce. I know we're talking a lot right now, but it's really important, and you're going to get to see him up close super soon. We do want to talk a bit about his behavior and the differences that we've seen over the past few weeks and how his eating has changed.
Yeah, so when he came in, he figured out how to gape, which is opening up his mouth and accepting the food. But what happens sometimes is during the time in care, for whatever reason, they just decide they don't want to take food from us anymore. And in those situations, we usually have a 2-person team. One person will hold the owlet, usually wrapped in a towel, and the other person will try to get them to open their beak. And if they won't, then we have to open their beak and put the food into their mouth for them.
And that's what we're going to be doing tonight, because we were talking about this earlier, that we can't deprive them of food and calories because they're growing so quickly. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
So the feeding tonight is not a typical feeding like you would see them easily taking it, but this is just part of wildlife rehabilitation. You'll see how much effort it takes just for one patient and how much time. Often, Kyla, just tell us real quick about this puppet. Why is this puppet here?
So this puppet, I know it doesn't look like a real owl, but we use this for feeding when they are gaping on their own. So we'll hold the tweezers with the wings. And the ideas behind these is that they're not being exposed necessarily to humans all the time. They're getting their food from something else. Their brains don't work in the same way that ours do, and they don't recognize this as a silly little puppet. What we're going to have to do tonight, because I need to use both hands to feed him, is I'm going to have to put a mask on that looks a bit like an owl. And that's, again, just to keep him from being exposed to people all the time, because we do want him not to learn that food comes from people, that it comes from weird places.
Awesome. All right, I'm going to flip back to me. A few, ground rules as we go. So we're always silent. So when we start walking towards the caging area, we're going to be quiet. You guys, please, I see all your questions coming in. That's awesome. Keep putting them in there, and then when we're done and we come back, we will address as many questions as possible. So we're gonna follow Kyla into the feeding area. She's gonna put on her mask and her feather eyes, owl head, or whatever it is, and I'm just gonna be quiet. And then once we are done with the feeding, we'll pop back into, we were just in the staff room, so we'll pop back into the staff room. I'll have a few more questions, and we will answer as many questions of yours as possible. All right, so I'm quiet from now on in. hope you guys caught all that. I saw at the beginning that the connection wasn't super stable. So I hope you saw it all. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy. I'm just gonna let Kyla sit down. Well done, well done. All right, keep your comments and questions coming. I'm gonna get to them. I have a few more questions to ask. Hey Megan Lee just joined. All right, flipping back. Is that normal? I mean, it seemed to go pretty well with that type of feeding.
It did. It went way better than it was earlier today. So he was a little more receptive to it, not fighting quite as much. So that's good.
Yay, okay. When will we release him? How much longer?
He's got to grow in all of his flight feathers and then figure out how to fly, so he'll be with us for another 2 months probably.
Wow, so that's like end of the summer pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Good. In the wild, when would they leave their family unit at the same time?
Between 3 to 6 months.
Okay, so around the same time.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, let's see. We have a bazillion, gazillion, trillion questions. I'm just scrolling up. Bear with me. Did you want to sing a song or something, Kyla, while we're waiting? Dun, 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 dun. All right, Jody Cross says, oh, she can't buy. Yeah, Jody wants to buy the 50-50 tickets, but they're only available to Alberta residents. I'm so sorry. That's the AGLC regulations, Jody, but thank you so much for supporting. Anyway, what other questions do we have? People are giving thumbs up. Lots of people joining. Okay, here's a question from, or maybe it's a comment from Karen Howells. We used to have an acreage near Sundre, had the amazing experience of seeing great horned owls take the head, take the head off a red-tailed hawk. They are tenacious. That's a comment. Yeah, they're super tenacious. That's cool. Robin Keenan says it's crazy. Okay, here's a great question again from Jody Cross. So we were talking about the owls at that age having about 20 mice a day. What about when they're adults? How much do they eat?
When they're adults, it's based on their body weight, but it's usually 5 to 6 mice a day.
So way less. So it's, again, because they're growing, right?
They grow at such a rapid rate that we have to give them way more calories than they normally get.
This is an interesting question. You may not know it. I don't know it. Michelle LeBlanc says, I've learned that owls are lactose intolerant. Do you know if that's true?
I actually can't answer that for you. I don't know. We don't use any kind of milk products with them. They don't get a formula like our mammal babies or even our baby birds. So, I'm not sure. That's really interesting. I'm going to have to do some research.
Well, you would think that, like, if we're being logical, like human babies are lactose intolerant sort of after, we shouldn't have milk. So they say once you're not a baby, right? So I would imagine it's the same, but hey, I'm just guessing. We don't know. Good question. Who else? I thought I saw a bunch of questions. I just saw people coming in. So Janelle Lynn Paul asks, do you wear masks when you feed them? I'm not sure if Janelle, do you mean like masks over your eyes or masks over our mouths? But we did so Kyla was wearing that today. The clinic team always has N95 masks when they're in there just to protect themselves and, the spread of disease. So yes to both, but we don't wear that specific face mask for all of the animals. That would just be funny. I'm looking. I've answered more of Janelle's questions. Okay, another comment from Jody Cross. Jody says, it's funny he didn't want to open his mouth because he seemed to really enjoy the food. You would think he would be eager to eat after he realized what's going on. He's so beautiful. So do you think that, do we know why he's changed sort of from not wanting to eat so much now compared to when he first came in, or we just don't know?
We don't really know. It can be from stress. It can be from just the size of their crop. Maybe they feel like they're getting too much food. But it's all science-based, how they figure out how much they need to eat.
Diane Dodsworth asks, what were we feeding the owlet? Mice, ? Yes, it was mice.
And a chick.
And a chick. Mice and a chick, yes. And we get all those from our supplier. Oh, he likes the camera. Any more questions? Here's a good question from Janelle Lynn Paul. Do you release them in the area where he was found?
Yep, our mandate is always to take animals back to where they were found. So we'll be as close as 1 kilometer to where he was found.
Awesome. Janice Johnson wants to know if we know if great horned owls are solitary creatures. Do we know?
It's actually interesting. Then during mating season, they roost together and they share the nest and they share the feeding duties. And then when the babies fledge and are down on the ground, they still work together. The pairs are monogamous, but they do roost separately when it's not breeding season.
Interesting. Sounds like the perfect scenario, doesn't it? All right, those are all the questions. Thanks, Kyle. I'm going to flip back to me. I'm so happy that went so well. He seemed to enjoy it, and I hope that you guys got some good, you could see him clearly and you could hear some of the cute clicks he was making. So just a few reminders. Bella, please can pop the 50/50 link into the chat. That can get all the way up to 20K. We do the draw on the 30th of this month, so you'll have your money almost in time for Canada Day. 10K to the winner if we get all the way up to 20K, and the rest goes to the babies. Top 3 donors of the month via that dedicated donation link will get an extra special thank you gift in the post, not our merch, special just for the baby shower. And again, the first 5 donors that started beginning of the baby shower tonight until the end of tonight, so midnight, First 5 donors of $25 or more will also get a gift in the post for donating. Appreciate it. Please share with your friends. Share our baby shower link on the website, the 50/50 link. If you get our emails, pass those to your friends and family too. The more people that know, the better. Help us get up to our goal of $45,000 this year. I saw a few more questions coming in before we leave. Carla Pollock wants to know, Kyla, will the parents recognize him when they return to the area? Will they even be reunited, do we think?
I'm not sure, because he would have left the nest by then, so that's why we won't put him back, like, exactly where we found him. We'll put him in a place without barbed wire, for example.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, they are territorial. They don't have really huge territories though, so he will go back to the same area.
Awesome. Okay, well, thank you, Kyla, and everyone for joining tonight. Again, 50/50 donation links, share on the socials and with your friends and family, our emails if you can. The more people that know, the better. And hopefully we'll reach our goal this year of $45,000. Like I said, it costs just $180 for 1 week, just for that one guy to feed him his mice. So that's just one patient. We had 120 patients come through our doors in 1 week. So you can imagine how much it costs. So any help you can give, we appreciate it. We will be doing this again next week, same place, same time. We don't know the patient yet. We won't know until a few days before. So make sure you watch our socials. And for everyone here at Calgary Wildlife, we thank you so much for your support. And we will see you next week, same place, same time. I'm Becky. That's Kyla. Signing off for now. Bye, everyone.